Is that it? Yeah. Okay.
You good, Timmy? Good evening, everybody. Or I guess it's good afternoon. I haven't said good afternoon for a city council meeting in a long time, so. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Thursday, December 7th, 2023. It's 4 p.m. Time for a special meeting of the Wenatchee City Council. Aren't they all special? And so I've called the meeting to order, and we always start with a pledge to our flag. So who are our friends from the Scouts? I'm going to come out and join you. Come on up. Hold on. Wait. Do I got to hit a button? Oh, look at that. All right, you guys ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, gentlemen. What troop were you with? Tell us about what's going on.
We're in Troop 8, and we are earning the citizen to the
Citizenship
in the society.
Excellent.
Right there.
So you're going to stay for the entire meeting?
I believe so.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's no problem.
Punishment for not making your bed or what?
No.
No. Well, thanks you guys for being here. Hope you enjoy your time. Thanks for leading us in the pledge to the flag. Thanks, guys. Oh, do we need a picture?
I've been here 4 years already. No, 4 years. Someone's Are you on finance to Public Works? You can do that.
All right. And for roll call this evening, we have 6 of our 7 council members here. I'm not sure where Councilmember Hornby is, but he's not here. Citizen comment. This will be a time when any member of the audience that wishes to address the city council on something that's on tonight's agenda. We will be taking public comment on our proposed amendments to Title 10 and 11 during our public hearing. But if you want to talk about anything else that's on the agenda or something just for the good of the order, we'd give you 3 minutes. Last name Schneiders are not invited up. How you doing, Jim? All right, seeing no takers, we will then move on to our consent items. So the first item is our consent items, including approval of the agenda, vouchers, and minutes from our previous meeting. Entertain a motion.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we adopt the consent items consisting of the agenda for this evening's meeting, vouchers, and minutes from previous meetings.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Kulas, second by Councilmember Rojanastatian to approve our consent items, including the agenda, vouchers, and our minutes from our previous meetings. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So we have 2 presentations, but I'm going to do these backwards, Tim. So we're going to do Mark Kulas's first. Is that okay? So we're going to just go ahead. So I'm going to come out and grab a microphone. Am I causing problems, Tammy? Yeah, let's leave it right there. Well, I'll address Mr. Kulas because he's right here in front of me. So we want to take a few minutes to thank Mark for 20 years on the Wenatchee City Council consecutively. That is a lot. He and I joined the council together 20 years ago. I stayed 4, left for 4, came for 12. He stayed on the entire 20. Maybe some days he wishes he didn't stay on for the entire 20, but Mark has always really done an incredible job. Is actually someone who I would go to. I say this jokingly sometimes. He's forgotten more about government than I'll ever know, right? And that's the line that he's been in it so long that there's things that skip his mind that is stuff I never would even thought to think about. So he's been, I think, a beacon for our council. I think he's where we go when we have questions. Don't always agree with Mark, but surprisingly, probably 95% of the time I do. And I just appreciate all he's done for our city. And in the last 4 years in particular with Town Toyota Center, a lot of heavy lifting. But with the museum board and the link board, you have more than carried your 1/7 of the weight for a long, long period of time. So I know you take the job seriously, that you do your homework, and that you're prepared. And so I just want to take a minute to congratulate him, thank him for his 20 years of service. We have a 20-year pin for Mr. Kulas, and we also have a 20-year, whatever the glass thing is. So if you would just join me in thanking Councilmember Kulas. The microphone, say something intelligent.
Well, I didn't really think I was going to stay this long when I was first elected. I didn't intend to, but boy, we're having so much fun. Toward the end of my second term is when the public facility district financing issue just kind of blew up in everyone's face. And I thought, boy, I'm going to hang on here for a little while longer just to see what the heck happens. And what did happen was the council had appointed former council members at that time, Karen Rutherford, Tony Veeder, and myself, to represent the council in trying to figure out how do we cure this. And part of what we did was, as you know, was orchestrate some litigation to get some vent, but also to throw a lot of weight behind Mayor Kuntz, because we knew that he could be the face of correcting a horrible situation, and it was horrible. I mean, it was that close to be really, really bad. So that was another reason to stick on. And then, you know, I've always said this, even in work, and I know the staff will know this too, governing is easy when you have money, right? I mean, it really is. You're making great choices, and you're doing lots of things in the community. It's really tough when you don't have money, and so along comes, you know, the Great Recession. And so it's kind of hanging around for that. I guess my concluding comments are, this is the same city as it was 20 years ago, but it's a different city at the same time. And it's a marvelous place. And I've just been, as you know, if you don't know, my background is I'm a land use planner, and I can't stop planning. And I've just so appreciated the evolution that has happened in our community for the most part. You know, look at how downtown is changing and becoming a little more service oriented than retail. I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it, but you know, there's going to be more people downtown at night, more eyes on the street, more activity. Our residential areas are improving and growing. You know, our streets, go to Spokane. If you think we have street issues, go to Spokane. Our streets are great. Our law enforcement is top notch. Our whole city staff is great. And I would challenge the council members a little bit that when a constituent calls you and is having an issue because they needed to get a building permit, or that they got a parking ticket, or something happened with Public Works, don't assume that staff doesn't know what they're doing. And remember one thing, you'll never find the name of a council member on any ordinance that passes this city. So if you have a problem with one of the codes, you need to find 3 others on the council to change it. Don't be asking staff to ignore it, because that's not their job. Don't ask them to break the law. Just find out what's going on. For staff, you're all great. I've had a lot of fun. I think one of the first things we did was the fats, oil, and grease stuff, right? You know, at the convention center, pack the convention center to talk about fats, oil, and grease going down down the sanitary sewer. I was talking to Mr. Kelly earlier. I want to tell you, staff, you're pretty good at kind of, I don't want to say ignoring, but kind of soothing and blowing off some of the things that the council would like to do. You're good at. You're not as good as I was, though, but I had 43 years of experience. So maybe at some point you'll be as good as I am about ignoring what elected officials tell you what to do. My seriously, I was good. I was good. For the council, when Mr. Poyer becomes mayor and District 2 becomes vacated on January 1, I really want you to, you know, I've been through 5, 6 appointment processes. Councilmember Huffaker, we selected you. Think about what's missing in the stew. Don't be thinking about, I want so-and-so because they think like me, look like me, act like me, talk like me. Think about what's missing, what gap needs to be filled. Take it from that approach, about what skill set can be added to the council. Lastly, to the citizens of Wenatchee, you know, I was born up on Okanagan Avenue in the old Deaconess Hospital in 1955. In fact, I always take this joke. The only thing that Bill Gates and I have in common is that we were born the same year. I did ask years ago if Bill and Melinda would adopt me, but I never heard back from them. But this has just been a wonderful community, and the citizens are wonderful here too. And I've just really appreciated the opportunity to serve with 21 or 22 different council members in the 20 years, and 2 mayors. We've always gotten along well, even when we've disagreed. Nobody's ever counted votes. You weren't with me on this issue, so I'm not going to be with you on that issue. We got along, made decisions, and we moved on. And I've always appreciated that. So thanks to the citizens, thanks to the staff, and thanks to my fellow elected officials.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your 20 years. All right, I'm not in charge of the next one, so.
Mayor, we were supposed to have someone to have that presentation. They don't seem to be here right now, so we
Okay.
can move forward.
Yep, we'll
the
move on
agenda,
and,
if that's
yeah,
okay.
perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we have a number of action items today. Councilmember Hornby, welcome.
Thank you.
Yep, and Tammy, you'll note for the record, Councilmember Hornby's arrival. Our first is an interagency agreement between the Washington State Traffic Safety Commission and the City of Wenatchee. Chief Crown. This is the funding for our traffic unit.
Good evening, Mayor and the council. Excited about this finally coming to fruition. This is a contract between the Washington Traffic Safety Commission and the City of Wenatchee. Essentially, this contract is an agreement that pays for 2 officers and half FTE on a sergeant's position. Creates a traffic safety unit that will start January 1st. This grant will supply these salaries and benefits for these 2.5 positions for 2 years. In 2026, the city would be liable to pick up those salaries and benefits moving forward. It's a sizable amount of money that actually increases our staffing. This is the first time in the City of Wenatchee's history where you actually have dedicated staff with a supervisory chain of command. So in the past, we've had 1 or maybe 2 officers for a short period of time that have been assigned traffic safety duties, but this is actually dedicated time and supervision towards these efforts. So it's the chain of command actually is we're putting the school resource officers under this supervisory chain as well. We're really excited to see this grow, And our parking enforcement will also be under this supervision as well. So, any questions before we move on?
Chief, I was hoping you'd touch on the reason we're eligible for this money. I found it quite interesting.
So this is a unique grant that is not monies that just necessarily fall from heaven. It's actually a relationship that has been fostered over years. I was once the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs Traffic Safety Committee chair. And this relationship had been started years ago. The concept and the design of this was kind of our own making. And there really isn't one like it out there. The design is based off of not only the enforcement component, but the other E's that come with it, engineering as well as education. So we're held to those two other E's as well in this grant process. We're going to be doing things with our drinking establishments on the DUI side of this to make sure that those other folks or those other entities that provide alcohol are actually not over serving. There's other options for getting home at night. And actually doing some of the public service announcements that are associated with drinking and driving. So is that what you're kind of getting at?
Well, there's that, and just the fact that we apparently have a higher percentage of traffic issues in our region that they're addressing.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely the sell on all these. There are other areas that in the state that have a higher degree of them. Putting together a plan to address them is really what excites the Traffic Safety Commission. How are you going to address them? And that's where the work came from us is actually making those metrics for ourselves. Because if they come in and try and set those metrics, it doesn't really go over that well. But where we're setting those and saying we're going to address our top 5 locations in our city where we're seeing those collisions at problem intersections, that's what really makes a grant like this sell.
Thank you, Chief. I
You
really
bet.
appreciate it.
All right, any other questions for Chief? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion for the City Council to approve the interagency agreement with the Washington Traffic Safety Commission and authorize the City Administrator's signature.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Poyer, second by Councilmember Harold, to approve the interagency agreement with the Washington Traffic Safety Commission, authorize the city administrator's signature. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Just as a little sidelight to the mayor-elect, so obviously Chief came to me 5 or 6 years ago and said, hey, I'd like to be on the board of the Washington State Association of Police Chiefs and Sheriffs, knowing that that would take him away from here, but he would be on the, the statewide stage. And he was gone to a lot of meetings, but he's got great staff underneath him. And for all of that hard work, then we end up with this grant. Rob Jammerman's on the Public Works Board, and he's working statewide on things. Dale is on a statewide AWC board. So all of our department heads from time to time have taken their share doing different things. And so when they ask or they want, I have always supported that because it comes back to us in a whole bunch of different ways, right? Around the state, people know who we are. We get these grants, right? So things happen great when you have department heads that want to take leadership roles in their organizations beyond just what they're doing here. Hi, Jessica.
Good evening, Mayor
Tell
and
us all
City
the
Council.
tell us all the good things that's going on today.
Yes, I do have a good thing to share with you tonight. Jessica Shaw, Deputy Public Works Director. And tonight I have for your consideration a grant agreement with the Washington State Department of Ecology. It's $130,000 with no match required. And so this just helps support our stormwater management program Ecology's been doing this for several years. Every biennium, they offer up money to cities and counties that are covered under the municipal stormwater permit to help support all of the activities we're doing in our community to prevent stormwater pollution.
And they're just gonna write us a check. We gotta do a few things and money shows up.
We gotta do a little paperwork, yeah.
Sounds like an IRS refund, doesn't it? All right, any questions for Jessica? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Your
I'll
Honor, I
make a
move for the-
motion. I'll make a motion for request for the city council to approve the 2023 through 2025 biennial stormwater capacity grant agreement with the Washington State Department of Ecology and authorize the city's administrator's signature for this grant and any other amendments to this grant.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Huffaker, second by Councilmember Hornby, to approve the 2023 through 2025 biennial stormwater capacity grant agreement with the Washington State Department of Ecology and authorize the city administrator's signature for this grant and any other amendments to this grant. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you,
you.
Jessica. Alyssa, we're gonna build for the Attorney General's office, it sounds like.
Correct. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Alyssa Schaefer, Facilities Manager for the Public Works Department. I am here this afternoon to request that City Council approve the revised capital project budget and authorize the City Administrator to execute the contract with Halmy Builders Incorporated for the Washington State Department of Enterprise Services Tenant Improvement Project, City Project Number 2321. Your packet gives the details, but brief. Earlier this year, the city entered into a 10-year lease with the Department of Enterprise Services, or DES. They are the managing agency for the Office of the Attorney General. We have since been working with DES to design the tenant improvements for the third floor Wenatchee City Hall space. We went to bid for the first time this past July. Prices returned higher than DES was prepared to pay at that time. We rejected all those bids, made adjustments to the HVAC system design, and rebid 3 weeks ago. 5 bids were received, and Halmy Builders Incorporated was the lowest responsive bidder. Last week, DES issued us a notice to proceed for the base bid and alternate number 1. The total construction contract will be $1,085,000 plus tax. Work is expected to be complete in July, and a budget amendment is necessary based on the increase in cost.
Well, Alyssa, I know you've been working hard on this, so it's impressive. And then, can you tell, we're getting this money back, right? Through that.
Correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Everything except a $20,000 allowance that the city agreed to in the lease agreement will be reimbursed.
Now, there was a time when we were gonna pay for some of the lease improvements and they were gonna pay us back over time, but, as Alyssa and team started negotiating a little bit tougher, they ended up gonna pay for everything but 20 grand, and they're gonna get a brand new space up there and 20 some bucks a square foot in lease, and it'll be good for everybody. So,
25.
And they're paying for all the improvements.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, great work to you and your team for doing that. Do you have a team or is it just you?
Aaron?
Okay. Then it's just you. That's good. Yeah. All right. Any questions for Alyssa? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion for City Council to approve the revised capital project budget and authorize the city administrator to execute the contract with Halmy Builders, Inc. for the Washington State Department of Enterprise Service Tenant Improvement, City Project Number 2321.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Rojanostati and second by Councilmember Cuevas for the City Council to approve the revised capital project budget and authorize the city administrator to execute the contract with Halmy Builders Incorporated for the Washington State Department of Enterprise Service Tenant Improvement, City Project 2321. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Alyssa, thank you. Thank you for all your great work on this building and everything you've done for us, and wish you nothing but the best. Keep building stuff. okay? You got a rock star here, okay?
And thank you,
Yeah.
Mayor, for all of your help.
Thanks. All right, we're gonna make an appointment to the Historic Preservation Board. Mr. Neuenschwander, how are you today?
Doing great. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This evening, we have 3 resolutions for you, appointing members to the Planning Commission, the Historic Preservation Board, as well as the Code Enforcement Board. So all of these members, so serving on the Planning Commission, currently Josh Jorgensen, Ronnie Sampson, and Ruby Gaston, and on the Historic Preservation Board, Mark Seaman, and on the Code Enforcement Board, Emilka Firmicek. They're all existing members, have additional time on their terms and would like to continue serving the city, and staff has prepared resolutions for you to sign to continue their opportunity to serve. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions for Stephen? It's a good group of people. We know them all. They're all known to the city and have been very helpful in our committee, so.
Absolutely.
So I think we could just do this in one big motion unless you guys think otherwise, but it seems to me like we can just do one big one.
So, Your Honor, I'll make a motion for City Council to approve resolution number 2023-31, reappointing 3 voting members to the Planning Commission, Josh Jorgensen, Rainey Sampson, and Ruby Gaston. Resolution number 2023-32, reappointing 1 voting member to the Historic Preservation Board, Mark Seaman. And resolution number 2023-33, reappointing 1 voting member to the Code Enforcement Board, Emilka Firmicek.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Ojanowski and second by Councilmember Hornby to adopt Resolution 2023-31, reappointing 3 voting members to the Planning Commission, those being Josh Jorgensen, Randy Sampson, and Ruby Gaston. Resolution number 2023-32, reappointing 1 voting member to the Historic Preservation Board, that being Mark Seaman. And resolution number 2023-33, reappointing 1 voting member to the Code Enforcement Board, that being Emilka Firmicek. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
I want to say this, I like 4 o'clock meetings. Mostly because I see lots of staff people that maybe wouldn't have come to a 5:15 meeting because they might have had other things to do. So I like having them here. Just a preference. I'm saying. All right, so the next item is Amendment 1 to the Purchase and Sale Agreement between the City of Wenatchee and the State Department of Transportation. Miss Gloria.
You
What are you
waited
laughing
until the
about?
last meeting of the year to make the change, huh?
I just made a comment that I liked it, that's all.
I'm just kidding. Laura Gloria, City Administrator. The item before you, Council, is Amendment 1 to the Purchase and Sale Agreement between the City of Wenatchee and WashDOT. We have a map that should pop up here in just a second. So in August of 2019, the City Council approved a purchase and sale agreement with WashDOT for property along North Wenatchee Avenue. That was divided into 2 separate parcels, Parcel A and Parcel B. Parcel B kind of had a holdback agreement. It needed some environmental remediation. And so the terms at the time were that the city would close on the property once that remediation was complete. That's been quite some time, 2019, and they're still working on the remediation, and it takes a little bit for that bacteria to kind of sift into the ground, for it to do its work, and for them to check and kind of continue the progress. So while the progress is happening, what's also happening is that piece of property continues to increase in price. The original agreement included a market increase on a yearly basis, and so the city is paying that increase as we're waiting. So we went back to WashDOT and asked them if they would be willing to go ahead and close on the property now so we could freeze in that price. They would still have the responsibility to do the remediation, but that'll help us out so that we don't have to pay any more increasing costs. Other than that, happy to answer any questions for you. The map that was on there, as soon as it comes back in, it's that yellow parcel. It's about 1.28 acres, and it's about, the current price is $799,000, which is about $14.26 a square foot. So happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
Yeah, so this is property we were gonna buy anyhow. We were just waiting for it to get clean. Meanwhile, there was a cost of living adjustment every year based on CPI. Well, last year CPI was a bigger number. And it's like, at some point, we got to stop the bleeding. So Laura thought that might be a good idea, and I agreed that let's just go ahead and close on it. We're going to buy it anyhow, and then we don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
And they're still cleaning it up. And they're taking the money that we paid for it, and using that money to clean it up.
Yeah.
So that money's in escrow as they do that. So they have the same desire to get it cleaned up as we do.
They are very eager, and again, they have been working on it, they worked on it, they started on it as soon as this agreement was signed, so they've been actively working on it. It just, unfortunately, it's taking time, and, you know, we don't want to be paying for that time anymore, so the recommendation is to go ahead and close on that now. The parcel is that yellow parcel on the map there.
Right? Any questions for the city administrator? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion for the City Council to approve Amendment 1 to the purchase and sale agreement between the City of Wenatchee and WashDOT and authorize the City Administrator's signature.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Hornby, second by Councilmember Rojanastatian, to approve Amendment 1 to the purchase and sale agreement between the City of Wenatchee and the Washington State Department of Transportation, authorize the city administrator's signature. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
All right, we have one public hearing item tonight. That is regarding proposed amendments to Titles 10 and 11 of the City Code. This is our annual sort of zoning and code chapter update. So we will hear from staff. We'll ask questions of staff. We'll turn over to any members of the audience that wishes to address the City Council, and then over to the council for any action they may be willing to take. Mr. Parsons, good evening, or good afternoon, I guess it is.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Matt Parsons, Senior Planner. As the Mayor was saying, this is the annual set of amendments to our development regulations and the comprehensive plan. They've been compiled into 3 ordinances and 3 resolutions, which I'm going to go through for you to summarize. The first one, Ordinance 2023-25, is amending Title 10 zoning. The first item in there is an amendment to our district use chart, and it's how we handle parking lots. And currently, in 2 of our overlays, the pedestrian overlay and the residential recreation overlay, which is in our waterfront, 2 specific areas in our waterfront, we have a designation that reads conditional use not to occupy grade level commercial street frontage. And basically what that means is that you can have a parking lot, but you have to establish some other use at the street frontage, typically a building of some kind, and which is a bit of a challenge, and it's fairly ambiguous. And so we are recommending that we simply just switch it back to conditional use, which is how it's handled in the rest of the waterfront mixed-use zoning district, the surrounding area. And so they would allow a standalone parking lot. We've kind of used this not to occupy grade level for street frontage on a variety of things, and it can be challenging at times. I will note it is the impetus for this was a city project, the construction of the parking lot by Pybus. So that will allow that to happen, but it will also benefit other private properties in those overlays as those areas develop. We have some amendments related to sidewalk width, and these came from suggested by our Public Works Department. So in our central business district, we currently have a 12-foot sidewalk width, but there are areas where you have a building that is right at the right-of-way line, the edge of the sidewalk, and then you only have 10 feet of sidewalk to the curb. And it doesn't really make sense to move either of those if there's a development occurring. And so the suggestion was that just make it down to 10 to kind of fit what's currently there. And so that's what we're bringing forward. And there's also a change to a certain portion of the South Wenatchee Business District to bring it down to 5 feet. The rest of it would remain at the current, I believe it's 10. And I have a little graphic here just to illustrate. It's a specific area south of Terminal Avenue. And so the rest, the area to the north remains the same, and this is just an exception. The surrounding area would have a 5-foot sidewalk width on both sides of South Wenatchee Avenue there. Just for perspective, that's Mission View Elementary there, right by Terminal Avenue. There's a little South Wenatchee Business District area down there that's where that would apply. So I want to be clear about that one particular part, the geography of that.
Is that portion in the city limits, or is it
No,
just
it's not.
inside the UGA?
Yeah, so this would not immediately take effect, but like all of this, it'll get forwarded to the county and eventually get adopted.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Yep. Yeah, good question. And now digital message signs in the historic entertainment overlay. So this graphic, I know it's a little hard to read, but this is basically the core of our downtown. Where this would apply, to the north is 2nd Street, to the south is Yakima and Kittitas Street, and then spanning Chelan, Mission, and Wenatchee Avenue. Currently, we do not allow digital message signs in this area, and the proposal is to allow them, but I want to be really clear about where this applies, or what situations this applies. So we do not allow them on walls, wall signs, digital message signs anywhere in the city, and so but we do allow them on pole and monument signs. We don't allow pole signs here. So basically the only places where this would open up opportunities is areas where a building is set back enough where you could either already have a monument sign or you could add one. And so any of the buildings downtown where you see the buildings right up to the right-of-way line at to the street, there would be no new opportunities for digital message signs, just the areas that are set back. Some of those properties are up on Mission and Chelan. And again, and I will also add, we did bring this to the Historic Board in addition to the Planning Commission. Part of the downtown is a National Historic District. This was kind of an informal consultation, but because there's a lot of things that they deal with down there, wanted to run this by them, and they were supportive of this change. And again, I want to let you know about the impetus for this particular change. You're aware of the construction project for the convention center. The sign we see here at the convention center would go away, and this change would allow that to be reestablished. Need to be a monument sign, but they could have a digital message sign. So I want to be clear about this is the origin, but again, just like the last one I talked about, it would benefit private property owners in the district, particularly those with building placement that allows a monument sign. So that's it for Title 10. We have some amendments to our Title 11 subdivisions. And this is just in the applicability section, and it clarifies the authority for the city engineer to apply street and fire protection standards. Our street and fire protection standards are located in the subdivision code, and sometimes they need to be applied other places, and so this will provide some clarification for how those can be used by the city engineer for road projects. Moving on to the zoning map and land use map changes, ordinance 2023-27, resolution 2023-35. So we have two applications for zone changes under file numbers CPRZ 2301 and 2302. So the first application, it's at 326 North Miller Street. The applicant, his name is, or the property owner, his name is April Smith. This was formerly, I think, known as the Chippewick Smith building. Now it's, I believe it's vacant. The applicant was the property owner's agent, Sean Burks. Currently, the zoning is residential high and mixed residential corridor. And it does allow, under certain standards, it does allow the uses that they want, personal services, and similarly business office. However, we have a stipulation in the mixed residential corridor that there's a residential component, be 50% of the floor area, and that's it's not working for them, and so they're wanting to change the zoning. And just so you know, it did convert to commercial office space back in 2006 without permits. If the zone change is granted, property owner will still need to obtain some permits to establish the use. So this is not the end of the road, but is a step to allow them to move in the direction that they want.
And it's adjacent to the district that they want to be in.
Yes, that's right. And they're wanting to change the North Wenatchee Business District, which is the district to the north. So to get the geography here, we're at Fifth and Miller here. To the top right, the northeast is Safeway, just to kind of get your bearings here. And so in the right image, the magenta, maroon, I'm not sure what that color is, but that color in the kind of the top right is the North Wenatchee Business District, and so this would just extend that just one parcel to the south along North Miller Street there. And so this chart's a little bit of a quick summary between the two zoning designations, just to kind of understand the change that is happening at a regulatory level. So the current designation has real limited commercial uses, both the uses and the floor areas allowed. Of course, the North Wenatchee Business District is extensive. That's our biggest commercial zone. They both allow residential. Difference being the current one is there's a stipulation. They both have real high building heights, 60 and 90. Setbacks are changes to 15 and 0. So changes in lot coverage, 55% and 100. So there are some differences, but they are both fairly high intense zones. Moving on to the Donahue property. This is 404 Northwestern Avenue. It's owned by John and Vanessa Donahue. Currently zoned residential moderate. And proposing to move it to neighborhood commercial, which is adjacent to the north. The fire station and the western market area, those are the neighborhood commercial zoning districts. And it would permit the uses that they're desiring. They're wanting to renovate the building, or they're actually, I believe, maybe in the process of that. They have 2 existing units, but they also want to establish a commercial space for retail and a meeting space there. You all were afforded a comment letter from Department of Ecology related to lead arsenic. That was for this property. City's position that for a zone change, this is kind of a non-issue. It was forwarded to the applicant, so they know about it and they can access the resources the Department of Ecology has. But we don't view it as an issue for the rezone. It's something that's more for a project, a development project.
If they came in for a building permit, would you require them to do something for that? If they came in for a building permit to do something, would you require them to churn the soil or do something for something as small as this?
I'm not
That
sure
might
if
be
we
a
have anything
question.
on that for that level. Yeah, go ahead.
We'd have to take a look at it and determine, Glenn DeVries, Community Development Director for the record. We'd have to take a look at it and see if they're doing anything on site to, disturbing soil. If it's all, asphalt and they're just doing work in the building, no. If they're doing something external, then it could trigger a review by ecology. Typically, when you have something like that and you're just adding asphalt to it, the Department of Ecology considers that a cap and it's done.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. So once again, just to get geography, this is 5th and Western, and you can see to the north is the fire station, and then again, it's just extending that zone to the south, one parcel. Yes?
I noticed something about the dual driveway entrances, that we were going to force them to remove one of those. What was the issue with the driveway entrances?
I'm not familiar with at the permit level, what's going on with that, so I can't comment on what's going on with the development review. Yeah. Let's see if you can.
I don't know if, Rob, I don't know if you had an answer to this. So, yeah, so I think Western is a major arterial collector, and so whenever we have development projects, the city Public Works Department reviews access, and when we have a redevelopment of an existing project, and they come into conformance with existing standards or current codes. So
That would generally be one entrance and one exit.
Potentially, yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. And then again, this chart's just a quick comparison. So between residential moderate and neighborhood commercial, they're reasonably similar. Of course, the difference with commercial uses. Commercial is not permitted in residential moderate, but some limited uses are allowed in neighborhood commercial. The intent, of course, of neighborhood commercial is that it's compatible with residential areas. And so has a low building height, and there's kind of limited floor areas for commercial uses and a limited range of those. So they both have 35-foot building heights. Some differences in street setbacks, but the rear and sides are usually intended to be compatible. And so anyway, just want to kind of give that quick overview of what changes, what that means for the neighbors, that kind of thing. So that was it for the zone changes, same changes having to the zoning map and the comprehensive plan land use map. And now this is getting to the other comprehensive plan amendment under resolution 2023-36. That's a text amendment to, related to the parks element. And so earlier this fall, the council adopted the parks, they call it the Parks Recreation Open Space Comprehensive Plan, or the PROS plan, on October 12th. And so what this is doing is incorporating it, adding it to the list of our adopted documents, and then also amending the parks element to match. So aligning the goals and policies, updating service maps and text amendments and tables. So just getting these things aligned. And then finally, Resolution 2023-34, the Capital Facilities Plan. These are just the standard annual amendments to projects and programs that happen every year, updating tables and text. And all of these amendments went before were reviewed by the Planning Commission, and they passed a motion recommending approval. And now they're before you today for public hearing. Any
Council
questions?
members, any questions for Mr. Parsons while we have him? I think most of those were pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
Any members of the city, of the audience wish to address the city council on this public hearing item regarding changes to our zoning and maps and signage and those things? See no takers, I will tender it over to the city council for any action they may be willing to take.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion for the city council to approve and adopt the following. Ordinance 2023-25, amending Wenatchee City Code Title 10 zoning. Ordinance 2023-26, amending Wenatchee City Code Chapter 11.04, subdivision general provisions. Ordinance 2023-27, amending the official zoning map of the city of Wenatchee. Resolution 2023-34, amending and restating the City of Wenatchee Capital Facilities Plan. Resolution 2023-35, amending the Wenatchee Urban Area Comprehensive Plan Land Use Map. And Resolution 2023-36, amending the Wenatchee Urban Area Comprehensive Plan.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Kulas, second by Councilmember Huffaker, to approve and adopt the following. Ordinance 2023-25, amending Wenatchee City Code Title 10 zoning. Ordinance 2023-26, amending the Wenatchee City Code Chapter 11.04 subdivision general provisions. Ordinance 2023-27, amending the official zoning map of the city of Wenatchee. Resolution 2023-34, amending and restating the City of Wenatchee Capital Facilities Plan. Resolution 2023-35, amending the Wenatchee Urban Area Comprehensive Plan Land Use Map. And Resolution 2023-36, amending Wenatchee Urban Area Comprehensive Plan. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for your team and all their work, and thanks to the Planning Commission, and excellent work. Mayor's report. I've got just a couple of quick items, and then we're going to work on some council committees and figure out how to get a mayor pro tem for next year. So I'm not going to go back through my calendar, but we did have a rating agency call with Standard & Poor's today. So as you know, we're going to the bond market to borrow some money to make some improvements to the convention center. So the city administrator, myself, the mayor-elect, and our finance director met with our folks from Standard & Poor's. I thought the meeting went well. We'll expect to hear back from them in a couple of weeks of what our rating would be. We don't expect it to go down. We think there's a chance it might actually be improved by one, but we are going to arm wrestle over that. But the meeting went well, and there's a lot of prep that goes into that. Those documents are huge, and Brad and his team have done a remarkable job making that happen. Laura, what else do you want to add to what the mayor's office has been doing?
A couple items. Met with the Downtown Association and their incoming board president, who's Josh Tarr, at the beginning of the year. So looking forward to working with Josh and continuing our relationship with the Downtown Association. Last week, the police department sworn in a new officer, Officer Greg Lee. So welcome to Officer Lee. We still have two vacancies on Historic Preservation Board and I believe Code Enforcement. We do have some updated flyers on our site, on our social media, and other ones that we can circulate as well if anyone's interested. And last but not least, all of the presents that you see in front of the dais, it's from city employees put their money together to adopt a couple families this year. So they put together some donations and we had a wrapping party. So it was really fun to get all of the employees together and bring a little extra holiday cheer to some communities. So that's all I've got.
All right, you want to do council committees next? Before we hear from council members, you want to hear from council members on what you're doing first?
Sounds great.
Yeah, let's get it over with that first.
What's that? The committees?
Announcements.
Okay, we'll do announcements, then we'll do committees, okay? What's going on with the council members' different committees?
Just real quick, from solid waste, Brenda Blanchfield, after 30 years, is retiring.
Oh,
So we'll be looking forward to whoever our new solid waste person is. She accomplished a lot in her 30 years, including our moderate waste facility. The other thing that came out of the meeting is there has been a plan by the Department of Ecology to have the businesses start recycling food waste. And they got a lot of pushback from that because it's pretty cost prohibitive right now. So they have actually granted an exemption for now, and they will reevaluate next July 2024.
interesting. Anybody else? Councilmember Cuevas?
I heard about our last County Advisory Homeless Committee will be on the December 13th. That's the last one of the year. And I also got invited to be the speaker for the teen night, December 15th.
Oh, good.
So,
Congratulations.
thank you, sir.
Any other council members have anything to report?
Our next homeless task force meeting is January 30th, and Glenn's been working really hard on a job description to hire a new homeless service coordinator, correct? And that's about it.
So, Mr. Jammerman, any word from TIB on any projects we may have gotten awarded while the council members, while we haven't met?
Thank you, Brad. Yes, we were notified that we received a grant from the TIB for about 1.2 million for the, we call it the road diet for 9th Street, so from Wenatchee Avenue to Miller. And so that will be hiring our consultant. We've actually got a pre-design on it. Ryan Harmon has been managing that, but we've been, that was the council's recommendation to apply for that grant and one other with TIB, and we were successful. So that'll be that's normally about a 3-year cycle, so we'll finish design and then go out to bid and probably be in construction 25 or 26.
Excellent.
We got a couple of things. The chamber, which ties into our next conversation, meets now at noon, not at
dark 30?
dark 30 a.m.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then Rivercom keeps growing in their stability of employment. So we have 2 new supervisors. They haven't had this many supervisors. That makes a total of 3 now. And you were at the meeting as well, Mayor-elect. How long was the other supervisor? How long has she been doing the job?
20 years.
20 years?
18 years.
So
and
more good things coming out of
Yeah.
Rivercom.
Good.
Not a ton of overtime, so they've changed the culture there. It's good.
that's the key. They really did change it from the last 2 to 3 years. It's a place, it really is a place to want to work, and they get a lot more people and fully staffed now.
You don't realize how important culture is until you're out trying to hire people. Right? All right, anything else from the council members? All right, so I thought what we would do, since our next meeting is on the 28th, which is mostly a ceremonial meeting where we're going to swear in a new mayor and swear in, I think, 4 council members. I also thought prior to that, or as we got into session, we would do a resolution to not only get the council members on their committees, but also do a mayor pro tem for next year. You guys don't meet till, I don't know, January 11th or 12th, so some of the committees actually meet before that, so I thought we would sort of sort through it. I think staff has provided you with a list. We have Charlie's in the back. You gotta get up here close if you're gonna be fighting for your spot here, dude. Okay, talk loud. So, so I think the ones in yellow were ones that Mark Kulas had done in the past, is that correct? Or white, or the little orange dots?
The orange.
The little orange dots are missing a third person.
Got it.
So some of the committees have already sort of been, some folks have expressed interest, or new council members typically are assigned to finance committee.
Right.
But there's still assignments that are necessary there.
So do we need someone on the Left One Disability Board?
Yes.
Okay. So which one of you wants to do the Left One Disability Board? That was something that Mark had done, right? We two?
Jose wants. There's to be two on there.
Okay, so Jose's doing one of them.
Unless anybody wants to volunteer.
We need a second. You meet once every decade?
This is for the Left One Disability Board.
Fourth Monday.
4 to 6 times a year. It's
Okay.
usually, it's a Monday afternoon, like the last Monday or fourth Monday, something like that.
Something like that, unless it depends if there's something that we need to approve. Yeah. We can put Charlie on that one.
Is there a chance that we could put the appointee to that position? Because you won't meet probably until there's a new person appointed?
Most likely not, because I think we set the long-term disability care rates and hearing aids and all that, like, toward the end of the first quarter of the year, so.
All right. Well, let's put,
There may need to be a meeting, but
okay. We will put whoever gets appointed to position 2, that may dictate who runs, by the way, to the Left One Disability Board. How about the Left One Pension Board? Is that sort of the same thing?
yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't know they were separate until I saw it on here.
Sounds like it's gonna be Jose in position 2, okay.
I didn't know either. We're on the same page. There you go.
Link Board. I have a question mark on Travis and I have an X with Charlie. So Charlie, you wanna take Link?
I will, unless Travis has got a,
You want to be alt?
I'm good with whatever.
All right, I'll take lead. You can be the alternate.
So Travis will be the lead and Charlie will be the alternate on Link.
I'm sick a lot, Charlie.
I ski a lot.
Yeah. Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, so how many do we need?
One.
And, what's that?
You just need one.
Just one?
And they are the chair.
So Laura can do it if you want staff to do it. Does that make sense to have staff do that or not?
Yeah, I think, does the statute allow,
It said an official of the city of Wenatchee.
okay, it doesn't have to be an elected official. That's cool.
Official of the city of Wenatchee, so I would take that broadly, but.
And Laura,
it's up
you've
to you
been
all.
going to this. you've
And I
been
do
going-
attend them anyhow, yeah.
Okay.
You guys okay if Laura does that?
So, be happy to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Should be happy.
All right. Masawa Sister City, so that's Linda. Thank you, Linda, for doing that. Museum Board, that was a Kulas assignment, so,
And one note there, that meeting date and time have been changed to the second Wednesday at 4:30 PM. Oh. And they finish by 6. That's by rule. They made that change, so many of the board members are still working professionals that doing the 11:30 to 1 was rather inconvenient.
causing problems. So we need a museum board member, so I don't know if anybody is interested in that. You know, sometimes we get to take positions that we're interested in, and sometimes we get to take positions that we're not all that interested in. So, the museum's got a lot going on. Charlie, is that something you would be interested in?
It's not at the top of my list.
Not the top of your list? Anybody else get excited about museum stuff?
I like music.
All right, Top said yes. So Top is on the museum board. We have no requirements for planning commission. Police Disability Advisory Board is the mayor. Public Facility District, your choices on the Public Facility District are the mayor or someone from the public. So I know we've argued that back and forth, but I think the mayor should be the one that's appointed to that. Regional water, there's lots of really big items coming up with regional water, so I also think that's something the mayor should do. It's something I've been doing. Rivercom, I know that Mike and Travis have been going back and forth. I would rather we have one that is the full-time and one alternate.
Travis, are you
I have a
okay?
conflict with another board meeting, so I would like to bow out of that if I could.
So we'll make
I'd like
the,
to continue on that.
we'll make the mayor that on Rivercom, and we'll make Travis, you want the alt? You want somebody else to be the alt?
I
mean,
could
you
be
know-
alt, that's fine, I just, every other month I have a conflict, so.
All right, so we'll make Travis the alternate to Rivercom. TPA, that has currently got top. You want to keep with that?
Mayor, we combine those appointments, so TPA and LTAC are one appointment, so that would be me.
Okay,
Yeah. Unless someone is really interested and wants to do that.
okay, so we will make Laura then TPA.
Has it been combined? Because Kulas was board chair and you were still on TPA, right?
And I was TPA member also.
Right. Oh, you were, okay. So Top hadn't been there. Never mind.
We got to find some good ones for Charlie. Right now, he's just an alternate on, we got to find a good one for him. Stormwater Advisory Committee, that is currently Keith,
I'll stay with that.
okay? And right now, it would be the new guy as an alternate. WDA,
I'm good with it. Top, you still good with alt?
I am.
Chamber of Commerce.
And that's mine currently, and I am gonna remove myself from that because that new time slot does not work well for me.
Charlie, you want to be on the board of the chamber? It's an ex officio board member, right? It doesn't vote?
Correct.
What's the new time, noon?
Noon. It's noon on Tuesdays, Charlie.
Noon instead of 6:30.
Sounds like you're not skiing on noon on Tuesdays. No.
It's perfect for
All right.
Charlie, you get there at 9
I'm in
to
the building.
11:45 and you could
that?
be there.
At 12 PM, if it, I mean, they already have an alternate, but
All right, so Charlie is going to be on the board of the Chamber of Commerce.
And am I alt or is it someone else want my alternate spot?
I'll take alt.
Okay,
All right, Top is the alternate.
go get them.
Council meetings, do you guys all want to go or not?
To be alternate.
All right.
I can show up late.
Top wants to be an alternate to the council, is that all right? Council workshops, Finance Committee. So obviously the mayor and the city administrator attend those. Charlie is new, so we would like a new one, and position 2 will be new. And then it sounds like Keith is on this, and it looks like you've moved those to the morning, council or mayor-elect,
Yes,
okay?
right, Keith?
Tuesday.
And you're good with that?
Yes.
Perfect.
So then the only issue you have is for the first couple. So, Mike, for the first couple, you're gonna be short until you appoint somebody. So just make sure you get another council member to
Okay.
show up.
All right.
Public safety is the mayor and the administrator. This has Jose and Linda and an alt.
Used to be myself as well.
So
I
public
still,
safety's been meeting about once a quarter, it seems like. So it's not quite as often as the others.
I still like that, so
Um,
unless Charlie would like to be on that.
I can come off of alt.
So why don't, and Linda, do you want to continue to be on public safety?
Yes.
We had 3 on there before, right?
Yep, yep. So this would be Jose and Linda and Keith. Public Services Committee. This has got Top and Travis. And I don't know who else. It says Charlie's an alt.
And this is one I'm gonna have to drop because it's moving to Thursdays.
Right.
Is it,
I don't want Charlie to get stuck on the internal committees, right? I want Charlie to get out and represent the city on some external committees as well. So just to put him on finance and public services doesn't get him out.
Although I told him this is actually a good one to find out what goes on within the city and.
Oh, yeah, both are.
All of it, yeah. So if he's willing and has the time, it wouldn't be a bad one.
Do you want to do both finance and public services, Charlie?
Just trying to get a feel for the schedule here real quick.
Is that 3 PM now?
Yes.
That's what I can do.
And it can change during the year if need be, right?
Right, oh yeah, you guys can change it anytime you want. This is just sort of give you guys something to adopt. But I do like to have a third person on the Public Services Committee.
So,
If it's not Charlie, Jose's interested.
What do you think, Charlie? Let Jose have it?
Maybe this year. Too much.
All right. So where's Jose? He's over here. All right, so for Public Services Committee, it's going to be Jose, Top, and Travis. Department head meetings, you guys are always invited. We just need to know if there's going to be more than 4 in the room. Mayor Pro Tem, who's the Mayor Pro Tem for next year? Have you had that conversation?
I've had a couple of conversations, but I was hoping Linda, I talked to Linda and Top, and you were good, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this map here says it's going to be Linda. Is it going to be Linda?
Are you okay with that, Tom?
I am.
Linda, have you been mayor pro tem before?
Yes.
I would
So if he wants
encourage
to-
Top to be then. If I was gonna arm wrestle, let's make it difficult.
Yeah.
I want to encourage Top too, if he hasn't had the opportunity, if it's okay with you, Linda.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is the time to, because we talked a little bit, but,
So what
or
if he
we
does-
can,
what
or
if
you
he
can
does-
wait till
what if he
next
does a
year.
crappy job. You gotta like take over and do stuff. What if someone like gets rid
Would you-
of them?
Well, you-
I'm down, yeah, I'm good with it, if you guys are.
Okay.
I just,
So what did you guys decide? Is it Top or is
I
it
didn't
Linda?
know, let's decide, I mean, Linda, if you want, I mean,
I can flip a coin. You got a
I
coin?
didn't know, but if you've already been it and I haven't been it before,
You should probably do it if you
let's do
haven't
it
been
like
it
that.
before.
yeah.
Okay. So the Mayor Pro Tem will be Top. Solid Waste, Keith, you like that?
I do.
Okay. Health District Board. We are
don't
not on the
know.
Health District for next year?
We
We
weren't
are,
on
I
tw-
think.
We weren't on 2023, is that correct? Why-
So I
why
think
we
would-
weren't this
we
year.
alternate with the city of East Wenatchee,
Yeah.
right? So we should be
Used to be
appointing,
full-time. I don't understand why we got.
they changed the
Yeah, they
rules.
changed
State
it,
of
'cause I
Washington
was on
changed
it,
the law.
and then they said, like, you're not on it anymore, it's an East Wenatchee person. So it's, next year will be a Wenatchee person.
Yeah, we're supposed to alternate with the city of East Wenatchee. I'm just telling you, that's the way the count,
I think we should have fought harder to keep all of our positions on there, because that's a critical position.
so remember the state legislature changed the rules for health districts because they thought they were too political. So they put a bunch of John Q. Public on there, they put county commissioners on there, and they told the cities you had to alternate, right?
Yeah, you put a bunch of county commissioners on there, it makes it political.
I'm just telling you, that's
should
what the
have
law
been
said.
high.
Then we gotta change the law.
So
But I
then,
do believe we have,
Changing the law.
I do believe we have one position though for this year. So let's appoint somebody and then Tammy can figure out. So who wants the Health District Board?
I lost it, where's it at?
It's,
There it is.
it's above
Do we
the,
know
Do we
when
have
they
it,
meet?
do we have know when they
We
meet?
don't know what
no
time.
idea when they meet.
It
Fuck.
used to
It
be.
used to meet on
in the
Mondays.
Afternoon
Yeah,
or
it was-
something like that.
So why don't we do this? Let's,
Monday at noon. is
let's,
last
for
Monday.
lack of a better word, we're gonna give the mayor that job. Tammy, you're gonna figure it out, and then you guys can change your mind if it's something you can't do.
Okay.
Okay? But I agree with you, Top. I think this is our year to have it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Homeless Advisory Committee. I believe this is the Chelan Douglas one where these are, this is not a voting representative, right?
Correct, and you meet quarterly.
So Jose, you're doing it now. You wanna keep doing it?
I could, unless Charlie's interested.
I'd do it.
Want to do it? Okay.
All right.
So come with me on the 13th, I'll introduce you to the staff.
All right, so Charlie will do the Chelan Douglas Homeless Advisory Committee. Transportation Council, this has generally been one that the mayor has done. I did it forever.
Yep,
Mike
I
did
want
it.
to, I want to stay on that.
Okay,
Can I be your alternate, Mayor?
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, we'll make,
Perfect. Oh, you already got
oh, Travis is the alt, okay?
You're always there, though, right?
It doesn't say that here.
We are not on code enforcement. Columbia River Homeless Housing Task Force, that is Linda with Jose being the alternate. Community Action Council, that is Top. You still like doing that?
Yeah.
With Keith?
Yeah, I can still be the alt.
Okay. Condo Association, that is one that the mayor will get to meet with Dimitri and arm wrestle over building issues. Then the Grievance Committee is one that the mayor will do.
Yeah.
Tammy, did you get all that? Of course you did.
Can we
So
make one
we-
change?
What's that? No?
Executive Services Director, we gotta change that to a city administrator.
Yeah, we already did that.
Oh, I don't see it.
So Ruby is here. So we are done with our meeting except for whatever Ruby has to do.
I'm so sorry, I assume I'm here at the regular 5:15
We
time.
decided to have a special meeting
No, you
today,
were-
as it was special.
Starting it
Save
as
the best for
special.
last.
Let me see here. So, my name is Ruby Gaston. I'm the Central Washington representative for Congresswoman Schreier. Let me put my eyes on. It is my pleasure to share that Congresswoman Schreier will read the following remarks into the congressional record sometime next week. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize the public service and accomplishments of Mayor Frank Kuntz, who for the past 12 years has served as the mayor of Wenatchee, Washington. Upon entering office, Mayor Kuntz inherited an incredibly difficult situation as the city faced dire financial challenges. Thankfully, Mayor Kuntz, an accountant by trade, put his professional expertise to good use and worked with Republicans, Democrats, and independents to restore Wenatchee's financial standing. Moreover, Mayor Kuntz's effective, thoughtful leadership has allowed the city to expand and invest in several development projects that have helped the local infrastructure and economy. It has been a true pleasure to work with Mayor Kuntz over the past 5 years. His North Star has always been how best to serve the people of Wenatchee. We have shared this goal and worked together in a bipartisan manner to finally make the Apple Capital Loop a reality. Mayor Kuntz and I have also worked together to address crime and the fentanyl epidemic, prevent catastrophic wildfires, and support agriculture, rural economies, and local health care. I will miss serving alongside Mayor Frank Kuntz, but will continue to cherish our friendship. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. And in addition, I'm delighted to present you with a congressional flag with the following certificate. This is to certify the accompanying flag was flown over the United States Capitol on September 26, 2023, at the request of the Honorable Kim Schreier, Member of Congress. This flag was flown for Mayor Frank Kuntz in honor of his retirement.
Thank you very much. That's
Sorry,
awesome.
it's in the box.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That is so cool.
And if you, this is for you.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
And if you will allow me to take off my work hat and speak to you as a resident of my hometown of Wenatchee, I will try not to cry. So a lot of people will speak to the many contributions you've made to the city, but I want to share that when I started coming to council, before I was in this role several years ago, I thought I had an idea of what I would see. And it was a very different time, difficult time in our country, with people at quite a heightened fractional level of civil discourse. And that was pre-COVID. So it got kind of, it went further from there. But what I came to observe over a course of time was really a display of Wenatchee values that should not have surprised me.
There has been an atmosphere of respectfulness and dignity and integrity and professionalism on council itself and towards the members of the public that have come to speak, to address council, which can be a little nerve-wracking experience. I can't tell you how many times the news of the day had me very worried. And then I'd come to council and I'd watch the tenor and the production of just the proceedings with city staff. And I'd leave feeling renewed by the beautiful display of just regular old democracy and civil service. And I'd leave a little elated and a lot encouraged and a lot inspired. And it's something desperately needed in the country. I'm very grateful for it. I'm a little protective of it. And I'm speaking of as a constituent and someone who values civil procedures as a matter of safety for all of us. So thank you all for your service and inspiring that feeling and for reminding me how proud I am to be from Wenatchee.
Oh, thank you, Ruby. That's awesome. All right. Wow, I didn't expect that. With that, we will see you on the 28th at noon for an adoption of an ordinance to do what you guys just did in terms of council, committees and Mayor Pro Tem. We'll swear in 4 council members and our mayor-elect, Mr. Poyer. So see you on the 28th.